Hello, hello, hello. So good to
Good.
see you.
So nice to see you and hear about your online business journey. So, Kerstin, tell me how it all started because many who are in, let's say, photographers, web designers, any kind of job where it's pretty much like you work on a project base or one-to-one, they can't imagine how they can take their business online. So, let us take to back how your life was before Kickstart.
Yes. My life before Kickstart was accompanied from two burnouts in advertising over the period of like 15 years, two burnouts in 15 years in advertising. I was working as an employee in advertising agencies as well as a freelance person, and I like switched back and forth. And there was always the passion for photography, but I never was courageous enough to step out and say, I want to follow my passion. And especially, I'm a single mom since my son is 2 years old. So back then in 2020, when I started Kickstart, he was 8 years old. And to be honest, when you're fully responsible on your own to earn the money for two people, you don't ask yourself that much, oh, what do I want to do? What is my dream? You rather say, okay, where will I earn money to pay the rent and make the refrigerator full? So I never questioned that. But after the second burnout, it was really the moment where I said, no, I just cannot go back into this advertising hamster wheel. I cannot do this. And I was unemployed. I got the like state the benefits from the state to by being unemployed. And this was the first time in like 14 years where I said, okay, I need to press the pause button and like think about what I can do and what I'm going to do, what I can, how I can work with an 8-year-old and which doesn't burn me out again. And I went through a coaching process, and this coaching process revealed that I want to step out and start working as a photographer, which is an offline business. So, and it was the first year in the pandemic, and I thought, well, working as a photographer, being completely new on the market, you need to find clients. Maybe it would be a smart thing to set up at least part of your business on an online pillar. I had no idea at all. I had not even the offline business as a photographer. There was nothing. There was just an idea and the spoken out loud sentence, okay, I will start over as a photographer. And I am taking my branding knowledge with me and I want to start as a personal branding photographer. That was basically it. And then I stumbled upon you because my coach who brought that out was with you before, Anna. And it took 2 weeks from saying out loud, I am going to start all over as a photographer. And then I signed in Kickstart. I had no clue. I didn't have a business. I didn't have a plan what my offline business could be. I had no clue of online whatsoever. I just thought and felt I need to do this and I need to make this step in order to change my life. And it changed my life.
And it did.
It did. It did. I had no idea what kind of course I could develop. Because the only thing I knew is that I would not want to teach people how to make selfies.
Yeah.
This was the only thing I knew. So basically, everything evolved during the process, which was good because I really trusted the process. And I said, okay, I will find what I can do. I will find what I can teach, and it will all work out. And it did. I had, in the end, 155 people in my course, and I made 6 upsells. So basically, I made my money back 3 times. And looking back to this point now, I didn't realize this back then, but when I'm looking back to this moment now, I know that, and this almost brings tears to my eyes, my business, Sigrun, with you would not exist. It just would not exist. Because if I had tried to find offline clients for shootings within these 10 weeks that Kickstart went, I doubt that I would have found clients by trying to like find them offline.
Yeah.
At the end of this process, I would have not had a single client. And knowing this, I know I mean, there is no partner in my life that can say, okay, I'm going to take over the rent for the next 3 months. You relax and concentrate on your business. There has a rent to be paid. So I know I needed to make this work. And sooner or later, I would have stepped back into the first freelance job in advertising again, just to pay the rent. And if I would have done that, I would have never, ever concentrated on building a business for what my dream is.
Yeah.
And so you can really say Kickstart saved my life, and it really was life-changing for me. Because after these 10 weeks, I never have taken a step back, and I never looked back, and there's just no other way.
Yeah, just follow your dream, follow your passion.
Totally.
What is your course about? People might be curious because you started with personal branding photography. What did you actually teach?
I teach female entrepreneurs how to make pictures with their smartphone that they can use for their social media communication. Because in the end, everything that we post, everything that we do is advertising. Even the organic posts, we are advertising our offers. We are advertising what we want to sell. And advertising, and this is where my 20 plus years in experience in advertising comes in. Basically, we are what's Werbeblock in English? The word, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the ad blockers.
The ad blockers in TV. I mean, this is when we watch a movie and the ad block comes in, we step to the kitchen and get something to drink. And only when the advertisement is nice, we stay in front of the TV. And so basically every post we make is like, no one's waiting for us. We are advertising every time, even though we're telling stories, even though we're not talking about an offer directly, but we are advertising ourselves. And so this needs to be storytelling, and it needs to be fun, and it needs to be fast, as we're not having that much time in social media to stop. The visual, the picture is the stopper. And therefore, there's some criteria necessary in order to have people stop. And this is what I teach people in my courses. So I bring in my visual expertise in really 25 years taking pictures and telling stories with pictures, plus my branding knowledge from 25 years.
And now somebody might think, well, I don't have 25 years experience in something that I'm interested in.
Well,
if it's your passion, you can do it.
It was just passion. I mean, everything in photography. And this is something which is so good, because I wanted to be a photographer like since the end of my studies, but then I turned back and said, oh, okay, I'm now working in a field where I have been studying stuff. And because everything I know in photography, I teach myself. Like there was no university. I didn't learn that. It was all my own. So it's just pure passion.
Yeah.
And during my years in advertising, I didn't know how good I am in that, because I used to work with big photographers for big shootings for huge brands. And then there was me like, oh, okay, I have a passion for photography. I think I cannot say I'm a photographer. So it's just pure passion.
Wow. Yeah. Typical. Women think they're not good enough, not expert enough, that someone needs to give them permission. But what people have hopefully noticed, that most of the women are self-taught in whatever they are teaching. Yeah. And so from there, you had created another program. That was your upsell. You sold there 6 spots. And So how does your business look like today? Like what are the programs?
Basically, my upsell was one-to-one
Yeah,
sessions. So I didn't like right away start in another course or in a different group program.
yeah,
And the course I have created back then in Kickstart is still the foundation for my signature course that I'm having now.
mhm,
And I did some tweaks here and there, and it's a prolonged version now. It's not 4 weeks anymore. It's an 8-week program.
yeah,
Um, and I did some tweaks. I am working in a mixture of offline and online because I'm still working as a photographer and I like working offline as a photographer. So for me, the right thing and the right mixture is to have both, to really be close with people and to have like smaller programs, small groups, like really cozy little groups of people I work with, plus bigger courses and programs. And I did a second course in Kickstart 2 years later. Yeah, that course was, I created that one in Kickstart in 2022, 2 years ago. And this is basically now an entrance point where I said, okay, this course is going to be a self-learning course,
yeah,
which is put into an evergreen funnel. So really, during the years I have been with you, I created different things and have different sorts of products now in my portfolio, in my ascension model, as you always say, where you
yeah.
say, okay, here's something like small where you can learn how I am, how it is to work with me, and then you can step up the ladder in smaller groups into like one-to-ones or into shootings.
Yeah, and your shooting clients, you are not finding them necessarily offline. They're actually coming from your
Yeah,
online students.
yeah. Actually, I mean, you just had Claudia with you. Claudia was one of my shooting clients and we met at a retreat with you. So
Yes. So you are basically in a, yeah, basically your clients are coming through online programs and then you maybe travel
yeah,
to different locations to meet them or they come to you, which is
yeah.
great. Yeah.
And the really nice thing is, I mean, when there's when I shoot my clients, I really know what they need because I am also working in an online business. I'm also an
Yeah.
online entrepreneur, and that's the good thing. And I have had like many talks with clients who said, "Well, Kerstin, how the questions you are asking me concerning shootings, no other photographer has asked me these questions." It starts when you're talking about the formats you need for a landing page or for a sales page, then you go to the content. And this is something where I can really bring in my expertise from both worlds, from the world of advertising, from the world as a photographer, and from the world where I know what an online entrepreneur needs, what kind of pictures she needs.
Hmm. So you have the perfect combination, just like you dream of or wanted in
Yeah,
the first place.
yeah.
And you can be with your son. He's a little bit older now.
He's 11. You know him, yeah.
11 now. Yeah, but his mom can be home as much as he likes or wants. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still working a lot. But I am home when he comes out of school. And if we want to do a longer dog walk in the afternoon, we can do that.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a freedom I will not want to miss again.
Oh.
And this wouldn't have been possible without Kickstart. Really, you know that, Sigrun, we talked about it before. It was a life-changing experience.
So what do you say to the fence sitters? We have a couple of fence sitters.
Just go. Just really just go. I mean, thinking only brings us forward in inches, doing brings us forward in miles. Just go. I mean, it's a roller coaster. It's intense. There will be times when you think, oh, what is this all? But the good thing is, I always say, Kickstart, the process is as if you are going to a restaurant and you hang your coat to the wardrobe, and then you just sit there and say, okay, now tell me what's on the menu. So you don't need to think about all these things where you have so much responsibility in life. You can just sit there and say, okay, what do I need to do now? And when you follow this process, there's lots to do, but there's also no way to like look left or right. So you basically cannot step out. And then the time is over and you look back and say, wow, I did this in such short amount of time. Crazy.
Crazy. It is great. Yeah. Well, I designed the process because the other one doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not good to know what's coming up, and it's best to just focus on the task at hand and know exactly what to do. Kerstin, you are what a star you are, and what you have achieved, and how inspiring it is for everyone listening.
Thank you so much, Sigrun.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.